Each day, before going to his daily commute, McCauley always does the same thing. He spends time with his wife, Karen, and son, Danny. He helps Danny with his literature homework before his wife gives him a boost. They talk about tuition costs and hope they can make the payments. She takes him to the train station so that he can catch his train. This has been going on for 10 years now. Mike often talks to fellow regular commuters like Wall. Mike sells life insurance, but on this day, his boss calls him into his office to tell him that after 10 years on the job, he is being fired. Mike is fired, even though he said he had 2 mortgages, his son was going to college, and he only had 5 years until he could retire. Everything starts to sound fuzzy to him. He and Karen are barely getting by, and he has no idea what to do. Mike gets a call from Karen. She tells him about the payments that are coming up and asks about his day. He doesn't tell her that he lost his job. He goes to a bar where he runs into his old partner and longtime friend, Officer Alex Murphy. During his time as a detective, he and his partner were watching TV when a story came on about a city planner who allegedly killed himself by jumping off a building. A few nights before, Mike tells Alex that he hasn't told Karen that he lost his job. Then they find out that Dave Hawthorne, a former coworker they didn't like, is now a captain. Before Alex and Mike leave, they share their quote, which says that doing the right thing will get you killed and that being noble doesn't exist. At the station, he sees a man on the phone saying that he can't check the bags. One of the regular riders complains about the situation right before he gets on, as if things couldn't get any worse. He runs into a man. Inside, he sees that his phone is still on. A man walks by and talks on the phone about something big that will happen tonight. In one of the cars, a Hispanic woman is in trouble and the AC is off. Girl is arguing with a boy who is trying to hit her. A well-dressed man is very loud and likes to talk about how expensive his suit is. When a girl asks him to be quiet, he says that her 99-cent perfume bothers him, so she moves seats. Mike sits down and a woman joins him. After a short chat, Joanna tells Mike that there are $25,000 and another $75,000 in cash in a compartment on the train. She tells him that he can have it if he helps her find someone who doesn't belong on the train. He has time until they get to Cold Spring, which is the last stop. She says that the person is carrying a bag with something stolen in it. She then gives the person's name and leaves. Joanna says that Mike shouldn't tell anyone what he just heard because she knows he used to be a cop. Mike is taken aback. He looks in the right place and finds the money. Then he thinks about getting off the train. A young woman stops him with a $25,000 bill and tries to get it back, but Mike decides to keep it for himself. The woman then gives Mike an envelope and says it's a warning. When he opens the envelope, he sees Karen's wedding ring inside. Mike borrows another commuter's phone, Tony's, because he lost his own. Mike finds Walt and asks him for it. While a man looks at him from behind, he writes him a note telling him to call the police because his family is in danger. He gives him the paper and tries to call Karen but can't get through. He calls Alex, but the same thing happens, so he leaves a message. Mike sees a man he saw earlier rushing onto the train with a bag as Walt gets off the train. Joanna calls Mike and points out the window to get his attention. He sees Walt about to cross the street to talk to the police, but someone working with Joanna pushes Walt into the path of a bus, killing him. She tells Mike that if he tries to run away, this is exactly what will happen. She tells Mike to find print in the bag they are carrying, which has a tracking device on it. They were the first to get into his pocket. Mike gives Tony the phone back and looks up in which zone Cold Spring is. It's zone 7. He looks at where the other people are going. He is looking for a stamp that says 7. He keeps track of everyone. A man with a red shirt, a vac seat, a Hispanic woman, an African-American man, a girl with colored hair, and the stock. Mike talks to the stockbroker because he has never seen him on the train before, even though Zone 7 is written on his ticket. He doesn't understand why Mike thinks he's going to Cold Springs, calls him poor, and tells him to mind his own business. Mike gives him the middle finger, and then he goes to talk to a girl. He tries to talk to her, but she gets up and leaves. He keeps up with her and takes her bag. She has fake IDs for her boyfriend with her. Mike sees a sign that tells him what to do. He goes up to the conductor and points out a few people he thinks might be up to no good. He says that everyone going to Cold Spring should have their bags checked. Under the guise of a security check, the conductor walks up to the Hispanic woman and wants to look through her bag. A fight ensues and Mike sees the tattooed man from the first stop, who is also going to Cold Springs. Again, Mike follows the man with tattoos who attacks him and gets into the next car. When Mike says the word print, he gets suspicious. The two of them keep fighting until Mike lets him win so he can put the tracker in. He finally lets himself take a break when he thinks the job is done. Tony gets a call, and it doesn't take him long to figure out that it's for him. When he picks up, it's Alex. Alex tells him that he sent some people to check on his family at his house. Mike tells him everything about what happened before the 100 grand in Waltz and how his family is doing. Alex says that a person who says they are Prince says they saw 2 men throw a city official to his death. Mike now knows that Prince is going to die and that he is being set up. As soon as the train goes into a tunnel, the call is cut off. At Cold Springs, 2 agents are ready for the witness. They say that the train will arrive in 20 minutes. As Mike keeps walking between the cars, people start to worry about him. He opens the bag that the man with tattoos was carrying in the empty car. It's full of his things, and one is missing. He hears the phone ring and goes to see what's going on. He finds the body of a man with tattoos who was wearing an FBI badge. Mike takes the call. Name is Joanna. She says that he gave the wrong name and is to blame for the death of another man. He asks about the health of his family, and she tells him that as long as he does his part, everything will be fine. Joanna turns on the microphone on Karen's phone, and he listens as a man comes to their house and says he is there on behalf of. Joanna cuts him off and tells him not to get off the train or he'll get caught. The train has stopped so that a check can be made. Some train riders have told the police about Mike's strange behavior on the train. While the police clear the cars, Mike hides with the body. He tries to open the door but can't. He crawls down, but as soon as he does, the train starts to move. He jumps down and rolls between the wheels anyway. He gets on the train again, but his bag gets stuck. When he pulls it back, all of the money except for falls out. Joanna calls again. 2 more stops and we'll get to Cold Springs. He is desperate. Mike turns off the air conditioning and all but the last car. Everyone gets into the last car. Mike gets together with a man in a red shirt and Tony to play cards. He asks the man in the red shirt why he's on the train, but he doesn't answer. Then he raises his voice and talks to everyone in the car about how he was fired and didn't have the heart to tell his friend. He then makes up a story about a passenger who shouldn't be on the train and who is carrying a bag. He also talks about the reward. When Tony asked him what he would do, he would put everyone still on the train in one car and tell them the same thing Joanna had told him. Tony says he was wrong and asks Mike if he would take the money. Mike says he already did. Since he's never seen 5 of them on the train, he thinks they might be on the list. Mike follows a guitarist named Oliver into the empty car after he finds out that the man playing cards with Tony is a monthly commuter. Oliver is not PR, but an assassin sent to kill PR by Joanna and working with Oliver. Mike fights with him for a while until they break a window. Oliver tries to get Mike to leave, but Mike wins and throws Oliver out. He gets a call from Joanna, who tells him to get the gun. Either Preen or his family has to go. The man in the nice suit gets off one stop before it gets cold. That leaves 2 suspects, but he has already ruled out a girl with colorful hair. He sits down across from Eva, a Hispanic woman whose phone keeps buzzing with messages. He asks her why she's going to Cold Springs, but she tells him to mind his own business. He takes her phone, thinking she's calling Joanna, and holds a gun to her head to make her tell him the truth. Terrified, Eva says she and her boyfriend fought and she tried to make up with him. Mike says sorry when he realizes she's telling. Slowly, Mike knows that Print doesn't belong to anyone. He had already thought. He remembers that a young woman switched seats on the way to Cold Spring because she was sitting next to a rude person. He goes up to her. She has been listening to music the whole time, so she doesn't know what's going on. The girl's name, Print, comes from the book The Scarlet Letter, which she read, and its main character, Hester Prynne. She calls him once more. He doesn't want to kill her. Joanna tells him that she works for very powerful people and that now everyone will die because he keeps getting worse. If Mike wants to stay alive, he asks one of the conductors, Sam, to stop the train. He pulls on the brake, but it goes off, and the train keeps going past the 2 FBI agents. At Cold Spring, the blow killed the engineer, so the train can't be stopped. They try to take their car off its hinges. Mike is able to free the car with Sam's help, but it is still attached by a chain. Mike is able to get on the other car. Sam grabs an axe and jumps to Mike as they try to break the chain. The train starts to go off track, and the front part crashes and takes off into the air. At that moment, they let go of the chain, which throws Mike onto the last car and leaves Sam in the cars that are about to crash. Red Shirt grabs Mike as their car also goes off the tracks and screeches to a stop on the edge of a train. People are scared and trying to get out of the building. By firing his gun, Mike gets their attention. He tells them it's not over yet and tells everyone to get a newspaper and spray water on the windows to cover them. When everyone has calmed down, Mike asks Sophia what she has that the bad guys might want. She takes out some kind of flash drive that has information on it that Sophia's friend, the city planner, knew. Sophia also says that the killers were still around, so she couldn't go to the police. She says that she did see one of them and that he said something about being noble. Mike asks, and Sophie says that Agent Garcia is the only person she told about it. The police then come outside, thinking that Mike has taken the passenger hostage. Dave, who used to work with him, can be heard over the loudspeaker. He tells him to give up while Mike tries to calm down everyone. Alex comes and tries to make Mike feel better. Mike helps a big group of passengers split up into smaller groups. Dave tells him to follow the person with the blue tag on the train after he gets rid of the wire. Mike tries to get Alex to tell him about the conspiracy and what he might know about it. Sophie had said earlier There's no such thing as noble, which Alex brings up, giving Mike hints that Alex was involved. He first says he didn't do it, but later he says he did because he knew Mike needed the money. Alex still says that if he wants to see his family again, he should give up. Mike puts his gun down. Alex tells Mike that he needs to think about his family. He looks for something to print. Mike doesn't give her up. When Sophie tries to say who she is, other people on the plane start saying they're also Prince. Then Mike and Alex fight while the police try to get a clear shot at Mike from outside. Mike is able to steal Alex's tracking device and make the police think he is innocent. Dave tells the snipers to kill Alex when he pulls out his gun. And then the SWAT team comes in. Agent Garcia walks in and tells Mike that his family is safe and that 3 people were arrested outside. Sophia talks to FBI agents and gives a statement as a witness. The other people on the plane think Mike is a hero. He is reunited with his family, sees his wife, gives her the ring back, and then talks to Dave. Dave tells him that they will look into Alex and anyone else who might have helped him. Dave also says that Mike should be asked to go back to his old job as a detective. Michael gets back on the train some time later and finds, even though she acts like she doesn't know him, he thinks she is the one who got him fired and put Sophie on the train with him to trick him. And when Alex asks Michael what he thinks will happen, he just pulls out his detective badge.